Hey everyone, Steve here from Big Head Tech, and today I have in front of me a laptop that costs $250 plus tax. It is an Asus Vivobook 15-inch and was purchased from Walmart. Features a Ryzen 3 to 3200U or Vega 3 graphics, 4 gigs of RAM, and 120 gigabyte Nvme SSD. And the question is this the perfect super budget laptop for somebody? So A, turnkey, is it good enough to use for every day? And B, can it play any games at all? I don't know. But let's go ahead and unbox it and take a look at it. And then we're going to show you a lot of different things, probably running through some benchmarks. Then I'll give you the conclusion. Start down there. Okay, so this is literally an exterior shipping box. Perfect. So here we have it. It is a Lenovo model number F512D. Go ahead and open her up. It is from Asus. And this was ordered brand new for $249 plus tax. Let's take a look here. So, fine packaging for a laptop. We got this guy. We have some, I guess, user guide stuff. We have over here a charger. So as you see, it's not a, it's should charge via USB-C. I will check that here shortly. And I doubt, nope, doesn't look like anything else with this. But that's okay. So it's relatively light. We have, I guess this is brushed aluminum. Doesn't feel plastic. Could be plastic. Again, it's a $250 laptop. And here we go. So you can start seeing some of what we're here. So we have Ryzen 3. We have Radeon graphics. It's an Asus Vivobook 15-inch. So should I get her turned on now? Let's go over the laptop a little bit. So over here we have two USB ports. I believe they're USB 3. We have, and this is what's really cool. So we have a third USB port. We have HDMI. We have USB Type-C, headphone microphone, and a micro SD card slot. So the I/O is quite good. And just for the heck of it, because we're going to be doing this again here, let's see just how easy this is to take apart. I'm actually hoping it is, because obviously I just opened it. Okay, so those top screws are shorter, just to be expected here. Oop, that's part of the top screws. Those screws. Those screws, and we have these two. So all I have to do is just get it started with the tool. Just run this along here, just to be careful that you don't do any kind of damage to it. We have a couple more. There we go. Perfect. So here we go. We have somewhere in here, I'm not entirely sure, there's 4 gigs of DDR4 memory soldered to the board. We have a Ryzen 3 3200U, which is 2 cores, 4 threads, that boosts into 3 gigahertz. We have a 128 gig Nvme SSD. It is a Sandisk X600. So what we're going to be doing here is replacing this with a 500 gig Nvme SSD and then putting in an 8 gig stick of RAM. And that's how you install memory, by the way, on a laptop. How you uninstall it is push these 2 tabs out and done there. how you replace the NVMe SSD, which we're not going to do yet because we want to run some benchmarks. Oh, that's torqued down. There we go. Just like that. So this actually has the 2 notches, and this supports either one. So do note you can buy either notch SSD, but this is NVMe, excuse me. So what that means is it'll support the faster hard drives here. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy put back on. It was actually the easiest laptop I've ever had the pleasure of taking apart. We do have a fingerprint reader here, which, to be honest, is very, very surprising to have a fingerprint sensor on a system of this caliber. The keys, honestly, I'm perfectly okay with them, so I'm going to turn this a little bit here. They're not super mushy, given, you know, the price. Like, there's some travel. It's, you know, they're solid feeling, very, very nice. And I'm not sure if this is picking up on it. These are backlit, which is also really nice. Some things I'm not a fan of, and I don't want to complain about it because it is only a $250 system, but these are larger, which is okay. I can deal with these being smaller. Personally, I would have liked these to be smaller and this to be a little bigger. It's a little bit different having the number pad shrunken so much. I mean, I'm grateful to have this 15-inch laptop. It should. But I think it's very common to have some of these shrunken, maybe move this down here or whatever, move everything over. These arrow keys are spread out pretty far. But because I do a lot of data entry, I think I would have liked this to be a little bigger. Another thing that's just a little weird is the power button's in line with all these, and it's just, the first time opening it, it's kind of eh. I really would have liked it to be a little off to the side. The other thing that I'm fixing it, but I'm not a fan, is this doesn't have Ethernet. And what I'm getting is I'm getting a USB-C to Ethernet, USB, HDMI, etc. So that should be fine. But considering I have gigabit at the house, I really, really would have liked Ethernet. So if there was anything I could have changed, it would have been I would have liked dedicated Ethernet over any other things that I'm not necessarily a fan of. So the one drawback is this comes with S mode, Windows 10, but you can switch out of it. You go to the search bar, you'll type in activate, you'll end up here, it'll say go to store. Now it will ask you to sign into a Microsoft account, so like Outlook or something. You can make one too, hit get. And then install, yes, let's go. You want to do this before you put any information on here. And it says working on it, and you'll give it a little bit of time, and boom, yep, you're running Windows 10 S mode switch, and you're all set. So that should be it. We will do a, okay, 3 days. Okay, now I've downloaded OBS just to do a test, and we want to see, yes, I know, Explorer.exe stopped. There we go. See if this will install now. Before, it was saying you have to go to the App Store. Yes, there we go. And that's all you have to do. So I'm not sure how well you're picking this up. The sound isn't great, but it's loud. So I will definitely give it that. Here, hey, we'll play Steve here from one of my videos. And just full disclosure, this video is sponsored by AOC. The sound's coming from around here. Here's the reason behind that. You guys know about the project I'm working on. Not too bad. So finally, let's take a look at some benchmarks. When you look at Cinebench, you can see this scores better than a 15-watt 2500U. Now, that particular chip can go up to 25 or 30 on some books or notebooks where it'll really stretch its legs and boost higher, longer. And that's all I can show you. Because anything outside of Cinebench, it thermal throttled and rebooted. I tried adding more memory, which actually added more video memory, which is kind of nice. So it went from 4 to 12 gigs. Video memory went from 500 meg to 2 gigs. But that's where everything goes downhill. This laptop's going back. And the big reason here is the fact that when we take a look and flip it over, you have a fan that moves relatively quiet, 1,000 RPM, and what it does is it's taking air, which you can get, blowing it down here, and then there's no ventilation here. There's ventilation along here, but there's no ventilation here where the direction is. So what ends up happening is this air pretty much has nowhere to vent out. It really should have vents right here to allow it to vent out. And that is the reason why it's overheating. This laptop would probably be good for anybody that just needs a laptop to use for schoolwork. It does get a little bit warm, but if you like open up a bunch of things, but then it will cool down relatively quickly. But anything, any power user, or if you're trying to play like League of Legends or World of Warcraft Classic, or do any kind of light workloads that even if you throw some extra memory into, it should take, it doesn't. And I've had this thing thermal so bad that it actually shut off a couple times. So we're gonna give this another shot with a laptop that's $80 more, and hopefully it'll do a little better, because I do need an everyday laptop. If you liked the video, liked it, dislike, leave a comment, get subscribed. I have nothing for you to really buy here because I didn't really showcase anything. But as always, this is Steve from Big Head Tech, and I'll see y'all later on down the road.